So obviously you're a very well-renowned photographer, but this is a film that you're directing. So how do those art forms compare for you?
For me, they're exactly the same thing. You know, when I do my photos, a lot goes into them, and it's, you know, there's a heavy direction. That's one of the reasons why people love shooting with me, is because I give very specific direction, and it's, you know, this is what you're gonna do it, that's it. With the movie, what was interesting was the amount of people that we had to help. You know, some of the photo shoots would be me and the person, and that's it. You know, sometimes we'll have crews and stuff, but with this it was like, this is what I want, this is all the things that I need. It was just all there. And so it was, I don't want to say it was easier, but the process was easier.
And then how did you come to be the director for this film specifically?
So the producers had come to me, Rob Carliner, who is one of the producers. He was like, you know, really want to make a movie with you. Are you interested in that? And you know, it's something that I've been dreaming about doing my whole life. And so I said, yeah, if I can reshape and kind of create this idea, and we can have someone write it, then I'll do it. And so we did that. I came up with this concept, and here, this is how I want to do it, and this is what it is. And then they were like, okay, we love it. Now you have to get someone to do it. Who do you want to be in it? Abigail Breslin was my first choice. And so we sent her the script, and within 45 minutes she had agreed to do the movie. So it was pretty quick. And then, you know, Alexander Ludwig, I shot him when he was 16. Wes Bentley I had always been a fan of, and we had some mutual friends, but we didn't really know each other that well. But everybody just kind of came together, and everyone was really excited to do it.
And then genre-wise, how does this film sort of fall? Because in watching the trailer, it almost had elements of, like, it could have been flirting with maybe fantasy or surrealism. So
yeah. So, you know, to me, it's definitely like, it's a thriller. You know, it's a psychological thriller. I know some people look at it and they maybe think, oh, this is a horror movie, or this is that, or this is that, but it's definitely a thriller. And it plays a lot with psyops. It's a lot of psychological profiling, a lot of mind manipulation, a lot of just kind of playing with different archetypes like that.
In watching the trailer, you can't help but think about greater social issues related to, like, violence against women and, like, you know, fighting back against misogyny and all of that. So I mean, like, how important is that for you when you're creating, like, the visual interpretation of the story to, like,
yeah, I mean, it's funny because you know, I'll get some people who will be like, oh, you know, this is degrading to women, or some people are like, this is empowering to women, and I think that all comes down to the person viewing it. You know, some people are like, oh, you shouldn't have a girl being chased by guys, and it's like, well, she's actually chasing the guys, you know.
Right.
For me, I think it's very important because women are so powerful, right? And I view them in such a power form. But what I find interesting is, you know, this movie you have a very strong female lead, and another movie that I'm doing you have a very strong female lead. And there's a lot of people that seemingly want that, right? Yet people make it very difficult for you to make a movie like that. That's what was surprising to me. Is I don't want to say, you know, the people who write checks and those people who are up there, they don't like the idea of that. So it's difficult to get these movies made. And if more women want these types of movies and more people want these types of movies, you have to support these movies when they come, because this doesn't happen a lot. You don't get this a lot. You know, if some people had gotten their hands on this movie, they would re-edit it and they'd make it where she's the weak one and it's just the classic kind of horror movie. But that was why when I said I would do this movie, I said the only way I'll do it is if she's the power one and they're the ones that lose.
is social commentary something that is important to you as an artist? Because I know you did that photo with the Ku Klux Klan guy strung up.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool shot. But
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, what I find interesting about the social commentary of it all is the lynching photo. You know, that was relevant 50 years ago. It's relevant today. I think this issue, you know, with the female empowerment, it was relevant 50 years ago. It's relevant today. I don't like the social commentary of just what's right now, but the things like that, I mean, absolutely. Like, you know, you could go back 1,000 years and you know, that it still works. Women were still being oppressed. It's fascinating to me how something can just exist for so long. But it feels like we're at the beginning of this revolution where people now want that to end. So hopefully it does.
And being that, you know, you've been a photographer for so long, like, why is it that only now, like, this is your feature film debut, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I'd gotten my first movie offer in maybe 2009, and I wanted to wait until it was right. You know, when you make a lot of art, you constantly are progressing, and you're constantly learning, and obviously you have to finally one day just say, I mean, you can learn forever, but it's all right. It's time to make one. I wanted to wait until I was in the right place to where I could really get it how I wanted it and create the look that I wanted. And when this came about, I was like, well, I can keep waiting and waiting and waiting, or I can just go now. And so I did this one.
And then what are your thoughts on, like, straying slightly a bit, but, like, because obviously you use social media a lot to promote your work, so then, you know, like, maybe some artists who don't like to use it as much, you know, like, what do you think about, like, utilizing that, like, within your own art form?
I think that if you're an artist and there is a free platform that exists where anywhere between 5 and 100 million or 1 billion people can see your work and you're against that, I think that's really smart. I think you should totally be against using social media. I think, you know, that's just a great idea. It's a great way for you to get known, to just go ahead and stay off social media. And if you have a problem with it, fantastic. Don't get on it, because you're going to waste all of our time anyway. I'm kidding. I completely think that it is, look, at the end of the day, you either get on or you die in the dust. You know, I don't know if you're a history buff, but J.P. Morgan, he created all of the electricity for Manhattan, right? So he put all the electricity in Manhattan. And when he did that, they said, all the houses are going to burn down. This will never last. Everyone in the country's living on kerosene. Oh, it's terrible. This is witchcraft. It's horrible. It's going to ruin the world. It's going to ruin the world. Do you like having lights in your house? Me too.
And then what, in terms of long-term, like, what would you like for the film's legacy to be?
I think it's always interesting when, you know, when you make something, it's your first movie. Like, this is my first movie. There's never going to be another first movie. So if I make 20 movies or if I make 100 movies, this will always be my first movie. And, you know, whenever you make anything, you can always look back on it and say, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that or whatever. But you just have to let it exist, and there's something kind of magical about that. You know, 60 years from now, I'll still be making movies, but that'll be the first one. So there'll always be some weird little bit of legacy for that.
And then one final question. So just to sum up, if you're going to give a message to fans about why they should go see the film, like,
I think, for me, I think a lot of people are tired of seeing the same old movie. You've seen the same old movie. That shit is tired. People are over it. This movie has no CGI. Everything you see in it is real. Everyone's fighting. Abigail Breslin is 16 and she's punching people in the face. Like, it's real deal. There's no, like, when you see people breathing, it's because they're freezing cold. Everything that happened is real. And I think that a lot of people complain about, oh, it's all sequels, it's all this, it's all that. If you're one of those people that complains, this movie's for you. I will not say that I'm Tyler Shields and you're watching newsled.com. I won't do it.